PhD office to register their displeasure. Some of the inscriptions on the placards carried by the Rivers women read, "We lack romance with our husbands. Our husbands no longer touch us at night. No light, no payment. The heat is too much. PhD, help us to sleep well," among others. They told correspondent Uwadiunor that they will remobilize for another protest if the condition did not improve.
We come to NEPA, no light for my 3 area, Ojoto, Dim, and Wokoma. We dey pay bill, we no see light. Now make we come to tell NEPA say we no see light, no bill this month. It affect us by making our soup sour. Even our husband won't climb upstairs. No way, heat, no light. The candle now we dey use and candle.
Well, we live in Nigeria, so we'll try adjusting. But I think I like the protest.
Why do you like the protest?
I'm sure you play snooker.
I don't, but I know.
Okay, well,
I know how it goes. Yeah.
So one ball can actually push as many as 4. Yeah, exactly. We are full. We are full with excuses. We are full with what government is saying. We are tired of PhD and their excuses. But what I love about the protest is that it's just a mild civil disobedience. And the protest didn't spill over to destroying the property of PhD.
Okay.
So, thumb up for the ladies in is it my 2? Whatever it is in Rivers State, precisely Diobu.
Mile 2, Mile 3.
Yeah, precisely Diobu. Thank you so much. It also raises 3 fundamental questions.
Okay.
First and foremost, didn't we know that between the period of November and March, there's always a change in the atmospheric condition of Nigeria? That's the peak of dry season. That also welcomes the Harmattan. It also means the cessation of rain. Why is it that we don't plan ahead? The national grid did not just collapse. After all, they didn't do anything extraordinary to restore the grid. Sam, I don't know where you're in my line of argument.
I am. There's a part that I'm not completely agreeing with because I'm waiting for you to finish.
Okay, so let me just say it this way. We know that these things were expected. There ought to have been a mitigating measure. Now, whether we like it or not, it's a truism. Energy runs the system. Just like you are told in maybe computer science, that is the software that runs the system. Energy is the software that runs the system. It's not the infrastructure. It's the capacity of the infrastructure to produce the energy which runs the system. So if we don't make advanced preparation for that, then it means that the set of people that you have in that place are just there. They are not using their cognition. That's one line. Then the second line of thought is this. Truly, the economy is harsh. But we have a system that is moribund, lackluster, managed by unprofessionals. A system that is deeply involved in corruption. If you stay in a place where they use estimated bill, they are ripping you off. I had an experience like that for 7 good years, whether there was light or not, until God came to our rescue. One day, they brought prepaid meter. Sam, with 500, you can have light all through your house in the night. The only is there. But prior to this time, in a 2-bedroom flat, I was paying 20,000 naira and I don't see the light. So when you look at it, now this is the hope. Now think of a situation where PhD has outlined that this week we are going to this street. And then, whether you have paid or not, they drop your wire. The cost of reconnection, then, the much I know, was 3,000. So imagine, in every compound, maybe you have 6 flats, the cost of reconnection, 15,000 naira will leave you. Then you now come to the office and they will subject you to mental torture and the rigor of meeting people who are untrained. With the lifestyle of poor customer service. And when they are through, they will tell you, let me warn you, if you default by next month, the punishment will be much. So this is the system that we operate. Whether transition company is there or disco is there, what Nigerians want to see is that there is light. And they are not seeing. Every day, government will vote sums of money that we are doing this, we are putting this grid, we are doing this. By the end of the day, nothing has happened. The money will go into the hands of the elite, and the citizens are just there. So that's why I said I love what they did.
Okay.
Yes.
I had a question, but with the second part of what you explained, I got that you were talking about the authorities and not the customer.
Yes.
Well, the reactions to the light issue, some Port Harcourt residents have been speaking about the heat wave they experience mostly at night. In recent times, Hamilton weather is felt during the day, but at night it gets hot and humid with no moisture in the air. Correspondent Constance Mega asked some residents about this, and they said it's becoming unbearable.
The weather is very hot, especially for women that are pregnant. My sister, they really suffer.
At night, most times I don't even sleep. Especially my young ones don't sleep because there is no light. I have to stay awake to fan them. They have rashes all over their body.
And mosquitoes don't help. They don't help at all. Because then you now want to cover yourself, but the weather is hot and everything is just a mess. And they're not even giving you light. My neighbor's kids, so I saw them the other day, and you see heat rashes all over their body. And these are children, so they will not stand up and go and take their bath at night, but they're just uncomfortable.
Very, very hot. Like you find it very difficult to sleep, especially with the way that there is no NEPA light now at night, so that you can just maybe enjoy yourself.
Well, also the residents also shared their coping mechanism.
Sometimes I literally sleep on the floor.
Immediately I take my bath, I'm going to have to go to sleep in the next 10 minutes. So I can't take my bath and be up at night. So I sleep without clothes on just to cope.
We have a rechargeable fan, so it really helps. So during the day when there's light, we charge it to the fullest.
I had to buy things to help them, like calamine lotion to rub on their body before they can sleep. The most times we also go and pour cold water on ourselves before we go to bed again. But it's very bad. The heat is too much.
Well, a professor of community pediatrics at the University of Port Harcourt, Analyst, advised that babies and children be underdressed this season and keep hydrated.
For the infants up to 3 years, breastfeed them more frequently and more often to keep them adequately hydrated and avoid all these sugary sweet things, because they will make the children get to lose more fluid. And then just keep them cool enough, not too hot, not too cold. Don't cover so the child will start sweating, because the child will be losing the energy for growth to keep the temperature down. Don't put fan directly on them, because it can cause them to be dehydrated.
Oh, there's a lot. There is a lot, but we move, as we like to say in Nigeria. Well, moving from that...
Sorry, sir. Do you know that we are no longer productive at night? Leave the fact that the women said that their husband can't climb them. The worst hit people are students and scholars.
Okay. I was going to ask what kind of productivity, but as you said...
Yes, because if you have a timeline that you're supposed to read for 4 hours and there's no light, your system is shutting down. Maybe your laptop is shutting down. Your phone is not working. Maybe you need to do something online. And then you remember that you have paid bills, but there's no light for you. So students are going home with going back to school with assignment unattended to. And that is a weakness on their part. And school has just resumed, And then most of us that are into academics, we can really not do the much we want to do because the system is not helpful. That's exactly another part we should also be looking at.
Yeah, it definitely affects productivity. But as we always say, may God help us.
Amen.
Now, from that to the 66th Grammy Awards held on Sunday, and no Nigerian artist got an award at the ceremony in Los Angeles, United States. 5 Nigerian artists in their combined 10 nominations all lost out on the Grammys. The nominated artists were Davido, Burna Boy, Asake, Bado, and Ira Star. South Africa's Tyler won the award for the Best African Music Performance over Davido, Ira Star, and Burna Boy. Now that's for the Grammys. In what would seem like payback, the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Bafana of South Africa to book a place at the AFCON finals. The game, which ended in a 1-1 draw, led a penalty shootout, with the Eagles defeating the South Africans 4-2, thanks to the heroics of goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali. The Super Eagles just, had to do their thing against South Africa, but the entire internet made it seem like it was payback for South Africa winning the Grammys over Nigerian artists. Dr. Sir, did you see the game?
Yes, I watched the game, and I have a confession to make about the game.
Okay.
I think I was emotionally sandwiched as a Nigerian. I have my pros and cons.
That's patriotism.
Yeah. So, but when it got to the point of the penalty, I quickly switched to a Christian channel. So maybe those who died,
oh my goodness,
if they had actually taken to my side,
mercy.
maybe they would have survived. I remember that there's a program in Lovewood, so I went for that. After an hour, by the time I checked my phone, I saw that Nigeria won the penalty. So it's a win-win situation. Now back to the situation. We don't have to, we have to put music and sports under one particular umbrella, which is entertainment. Nigerians lost out in the Grammy Award to South Africa. Have we forgotten the spirit of negritude? Are we not Negroes? Are we not Africans? It reminds me of that poem, Akama Africa. Africa of proud warrior in the ancestral savannah. I think we should go back and look at it. Whether we won the football match and a South African won in the Grammy Award, the truth of the matter is that the nation of the blacks had actually been elevated. Let's leave it like that.
So, this is where what you describe works, right? If there is one African representative and then one country wins, we all unite as Africans to defend, to promote that person, that country as against, the Western world. But there's also internal rivalry. And I don't think I like what Nigerians are doing to Ghanaians on social media. When it comes to the continent, you still have that. There's no defending the interests of Africa, black man. It is Nigeria versus Ghana, Nigerian versus. So we still have, on a continental scale, the internal rivalry.
There's no doubt about that. Africa is heterogeneous. We are not homogeneous. Perhaps what is bringing us together is our geographical entity. So we share the same, color of the skin. Still in this Africa, we consider Egypt as part of the Middle East and not even at that. So I understand such pain as a historian. But the way I want us to live this is this. We won the football match. Somebody from South Africa won the award. Let us enjoy the best of times that we have. I think that's the spirit.
This year's lifting the trophy tomorrow?
Certainly. No matter what it is, even though there's still hunger in Nigeria, over 200 million people are giving the Super Eagles the backup. I think today what we should do is to pray and fast for Nigeria from now till 12 o'clock as part of it. And then tomorrow, after your normal prayers, I think you should commit like 5 minutes in your church to pray for Nigeria. The cup must come to Nigeria because it has a lot to do. It has a way of furthering our national interest. I think so.
All right, it's important to know that we are live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH, so you can watch and you listen. More importantly, you can drop your thoughts on those platforms. So we have a break coming up in 3 minutes. Between now and then, we can take our next story. The kidnapped pupils and teachers at a school in Ekiti State regained their freedom on Sunday. Some families of the victims said the kidnappers took a 15 million naira ransom and some other items. This is the interesting part. The other items include fried rice, malt drinks, energy drinks, and cigarettes. So why do you know? It seems the underworld is not spared from hunger.
Well, hunger is not a friend to anybody. I think so.
I don't get it. If you give me a ransom, right? 10 million, 5 million, why would I still need food? And this is not the first case. We've had some case in the north, I believe, where the kidnappers demanded bags of rice.
Yeah.
So if this person is going to pay, it's not a system that, we like, but, bring 50 million or we kill your cousin, your brother, your father, and the person gives you the money. Why are you can buy the bag of rice? Why do you need to get food from them?
Oh, Sam, is that your thinking? Are you not aware that this set of people, that they run a different economy from our own? They run a different economy from our own. Let's just say, Okay, hunger universal. That's in the chances are that there could be. That's an opinion. Then remember, if you see a truck going to the farm, your first impression may just be that there is a storehouse in this.
Yeah.
So leave them. So it's a psychology. It's a psychology. Maybe we may just talk less now until the break. But remember, where are the Amotokums of this world? Is Ekiti not part of it?
It is.
Okay. Is there a governor in Ekiti?
Definitely.
What's his response? Sam, you know that the people involved, they are my constituency. Why should a learner be subjected to mental torture for going to school? And Ekiti is the home of professors.
All right. Well, we take this break. After that, reaction to this, former DSS director has said that paying of ransom is not the way to go. After the break, I'll be taking your calls. Please stay with us. Still is the front page on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I still have my guest here, Mr. Isaac Uwadiunor. You're welcome once again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'll be taking your thoughts right about now. But before the break, we talked about kidnappers demanding food for ransom. And Mr. Uwadiunor said, yes, the underworld also is hungry. Now, former director DSS Mike Ejiofor says payment of ransom to free kidnapped victims is not the way to go. He said just as security agencies adopt different strategies in combating kidnapping, the kidnappers also adopt newer measures and mode of operation. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Hard Facts, the security analyst urged citizens to collaborate with security agencies by providing relevant information to help track kidnappers.
You see, I have always maintained that our government position is that ransom should not be paid. In fact, the National Assembly even tried to criminalize payment of ransom. I think that's not the way to go. The way to go is to prevent this thing from happening. If we prevent it from happening, nobody will be paying ransom.
Well, in the words of whoever said it, Mr. Isaac, it's always easier said than done.
Yeah. National Assembly has criminalized it from people doing that, according to the security expert. Let's prevent it when police are complaining that they have very poor manpower. Majority of our policemen are doing special duties in one place or the other. When you call them, they tell you that the response time between crime and police response time is a different scenario. I'm not sticking to it, but I think if we are to remain in our mark, it is better to collect food and save life. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, this is where you get to be a part of the conversation. 0817-923-0002. Please turn off your radio as you call. Go straight to the point. Keep your comments civil. Remember, we are live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Educationist, calling from Uwadiunor.
All right, please go ahead.
Insecurity in Nigeria. And they are telling us not to pay ransom, even when our relations are at the point of death. And also that we should prevent it. How do we, the ordinary people, bloody civilians, they call themselves, we prevent insecurity when the insecurity has overwhelmed them? No strategy, no formula, no machinery on the ground to make sure that these perpetrators will be brought to book, especially in the rural areas. And I begin to ask, these kidnappers or herdsmen, whatever name they call them, are they flying? Do they have wings? Is it not the same people that are flying roads? Does it mean that the security agencies on the road don't know the vehicles, the way where they enter, the local government, the community, and the bush or forest they enter? So all these things are the information they need to know for us to be aware that these people are this particular area, to be aware and to get the information for them to know whatever thing they want to do. So in my own side, I think this defense or security professionals, they really don't know their professional work. And me in particular, I'm disappointed in them. All over Nigerian states, insecurity, and they're telling us to prevent it. How will we prevent it? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Well, the responsibility of preventing it does not lay on your shoulder. The security expert made that very clear, that the security agency should work better. But your responsibility is to cooperate, with those officials by volunteering information and all of that. We all have a responsibility to security. So that was his position. He didn't say you should prevent crime. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please turn off your radio. Hello, hold on. Please tell us your name, where you're calling from before you contribute.
Hello, my name is David.
All right.
The guy that have accident in drama, please, I'm dying. Please, I beg you to come and help me. I'm dying. Please, I'm dying. My company is already. I'm asking I'm done, and I'm the only person. Please, come and help me. I beg, please.
Okay. Where exactly are you, so that somebody who's close by can at least? I have a feeling we have taken you.
I'm OPM.
You're at OPM.
I'm dying.
Okay, I would escalate that to our news team. Thank you very much for reaching out. Text from Oyibo on WhatsApp says, "Good morning, Mr. Sam and Mr. Isaac. I sympathize with every Nigerian struggling under the poor power supply by all the discos in Nigeria, including Port Harcourt Electricity Company. Thank God I have only suffered estimated billing for just 2 months in my entire adult life, as I have always selected a house to stay based on availability of a functional meter. Now, I must say I was surprised that despite the Diobu women saying their soup spoil and they have to keep warming their food, Nigerian Food's editorial team chose the headline, 'Our husbands don't touch us.' Or is it you, Sam, who chose the aspect of the headline? Kudos to all the ladies for their peaceful protest." Text, you can never tell. You don't know who chose it, right? But it was chosen. Hello, morning. Please turn off your radio. Good morning. What's your name?
How are you?
I'm well.
All
right, go ahead.
You see, the problem of security in Nigeria, I think it is a creation of the government.
The creation of the government?
Because, yes, the creation of the government. Because there's
Please
a
explain.
book I read just now this morning. I never knew.
Hello?
So it has been bad every year, one group for one level of being bad to the So I know our government is the one responsible. If they really want to cut it, what they need to do is to engage evidence. All these idle men, idle boys who don't have jobs, they should create job for them. Find something they will do. Somebody who is gainfully employed will have nothing to do with kidnapping. That just one. Even that man that just called now, that is it. Now that man is in distress. So if he sees whatever thing he is going to do now and say this, he is going to do it. So the problem is that the government has messed up everything. They should employ the youth and see whether if this kidnapping will occur.
Okay, so I needed you to make the point so that I'm certain, of how you wanted to express that point. The lack of employment, I guess, is how you drove that point, is what is pushing people to this. It's important, and I need to stress this, that, while we have this platform to express our views, we must watch our choice of words and not share anything that's unsubstantiated. Yes, if you have a lot of young people in an environment bubbling with energy, there is nothing of meaningful value, for them to invest those energies. It is easier to be lured into crime. I agree. So the government does need to do better. But I think everybody must take responsibility. If a criminal is caught, I will not completely blame the government for not creating the avenue, the platform, right? I will also blame the criminal who has taken to a life of crime, because there are people in that same country who had as much hardship but did not ever think of resorting to crime.
Well, I agree that we have opportunity to express our views, but our views should be moderated because we are solution driven. That's my position. If we say government is responsible for crime too, we should know that the society is not about government. There's also a state. And elementary government teaches that the state is a geographical entity with an organized government and must have populations, some level of permanency, and then geography. So those put together will also help us a long way. Well, I think wisdom deserves. We'll stop here.
All right. Jonad IP on Facebook says, others are crying, high cost of living, poor power supply. How can a high power supply be added to an empty stomach? If there's power supply, businesses will thrive and it will help the economy. So that's the connection. Mohammed Bula says, good morning. Rivers women have the right to protest because electricity is next to oxygen here in Port Harcourt. No power, no water. Yeah, that's true. Lots of pumping machines. Good morning, Mr. Sam and Mr. Isaac. My viewpoint is that we fast and pray for our dear country, Nigeria, as recommended by Mr. Isaac. We should not forget that we must equally fast and pray against imbibing attitudes of anti-social vices like greed, selfishness, envy, jealousy, and so on. Because of these vices, they are the bondages that will continue to bind Nigeria until we further expunge them from us, since they constitute over 95% of our problems. Well, fasting and praying for that.
It's okay. Thank you for even being patriotic that you will fast for Nigeria. Remember, our problem didn't start today. So we also have to work it out by way of solution. Why I'm saying this is this. I have my reservations about Nigeria, and I also have my feelings. But the most important thing is that we are better off. If you consider what is happening in Gaza and compare it, whether those people who are dying today were part of Hamas or not is irrelevant. What is most important is that geographical entity has been closed down. And that's why we say we should pray for our country.
All right. Mohammed Bula, still on Facebook, says, good morning. The kidnappers should please look at the situation, so they should stop kidnapping people for ransom. That's interesting. Let me do justice to WhatsApp and move to our next headline. Morning, Sam. For decades, I've been telling PhD that they have been the cause of the abysmal performance of Nigerian children in exams. When will they understand that their children and relations are affected by this menace? PhD, please. Those concerning the monies for electricity improvement, remember Zechariah chapter 5, 3 and 4. I'll have to look that up. And, okay, this is not for us. The demand for food items by kidnappers is a testament to the fact that big men are involved. Else, why the request for food? Austin, you have to explain this point because I don't get it from what you wrote. Owanete Clinton West says, security situation in Nigeria is alarming and worrisome. I, Clinton West, task all security agencies on the upsurge of kidnapping, abduction, and killings in Nigeria. Alarmed by the upsurge of criminality and kidnapping, I charge the agencies to live up to their promise to safeguard Nigerians. And leadership failure has dealt with us in Nigeria. Thank you very much for that. And still on this, The Punch has reported that an increase in the demand for bulletproof vehicles by very important persons and wealthy individuals following the rising cases of kidnapping in the country. Armored vehicle dealers have confirmed an increase in sales of customized bulletproof SUVs as the kidnapping worsens. As you may know, armed gangs operating from forests have been conducting abductions in major cities. Mr. Isaac, I don't know your financial statement, but you have a bulletproof vehicle, or is that something you intend because the CVIPs are ordering them?
Well, as a teacher that we are, bulletproof vehicles are luxuries.
Okay.
Yes. Well, if you can afford it, buy. But also consider the fact that you must have food on the table before you fuel the bulletproof.
Indeed. I agree. Moving from that, a bill for the amendment of the Electoral Act has scaled second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill proposes that the general elections be conducted on the same day to save money and time for the country, as well as prevent bandwagon effect. The amendment also seeks to make electronic transmission of results compulsory and punish persons who file frivolous petitions with heavy fines to reduce the number of cases that will end up in court. Your thoughts?
Sam, you know what my responses will always be. To be very fair, is a charity. Any amendment now is a charity.
Why?
Any amendment that does not involve conducting election, completing the court cases before swearing in, is a no-no for Nigeria. You know, I'm a historian by training, and there's something that is unique to history. We define history as this memory, the study of human group experience, the memory of human group experience. That's what history is. History is not about dates. As a historian, what I could make out of the last election is that the people perfected their skills, how glitches will be used to manage the election. And now you are coming back to tell us that it's compulsory. It means something else has also happened. So any amendment that you are making now that does not involve completing election, all court cases must be completed before swearing in, is no amendment. If you like, you can add other things to it, but I think this is where we got it all wrong. any amendment that does not make INEC, independent is no amendment. If the appointment of the INEC chairman is still subject to the whims and caprices of the president, and he could go in easily and come back, my brother, the piper dictates the tone. If we don't do it, let me tell you, most Nigerians are not willing to even vote in 2027. I don't know whether you are looking at it. The bandwagon effect. If this is what we envisaged, what we are planning for 2023 general election, a lot of people wouldn't have even bothered themselves. Let it just be a carry-go effect. So you cannot come back now and tell us that you are making an amendment. You are making an amendment that people will move from one political party to another, and then it will be seamless. There's no sanction. For God's sake, one of my theses as a master's student is democracy and party system in Nigeria. Are we doing this because we want to conduct election, or we want election to affect the quality of lives? So they can go as far as they choose to. But the most important thing is this: they can do their own as politicians. The grassroots is already feeling. You don't need to tell a blind man, that there is war. Even the sound of the bullet will tell him to prepare to move. That's exactly what you are saying.
Finally, and hopefully you respond briefly, would there be any effect to having all the elections conducted on one day?
Sam, let me take you back. In the Second Republic, precisely during Shagari period, all elections were conducted on the same day. You can check your facts. And then these same people, the political class, also came up and told us that it was too much for Nigerians to queue up for 3 hours and thumbprint on papers, because they were not having the opportunity. Chances are that if you have a presidential candidate, you have a governor the same day, you have a senator, and you have House of Rep, you will not be able to manipulate it, so that we have this bandwagon effect for one political party. So you see staggered winning all over the place. PDP may take the presidential, most of the governors may go for the other party, and then the other party will have the senator, and then they tell you that the House of National Assembly will be in chaos. Now we are coming back after 40 years to choose the same process. Are we moving forward, or we are going backward?
Okay. The phone lines are open. 08179230002. 08179230003. We've talked about the protest, the women protesting power supply. We've talked about Nigeria making it to the finals after defeating Bafana of South Africa. We've talked about kidnappers demanding food for ransom, a response of a security expert saying ransom payment is not the way to go, and VIPs demanding bulletproof vehicles. And now it's a bill for the Electoral Act to be amended. Would like to get your thoughts. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. What's your name? Oh, I apologize. It was not clear. You have to call back. Good morning.
Good morning. Sam, my name is Ijoma, calling from Ilikaya.
Go ahead, Ijoma. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Your presenter said we should go. Hello?
We're listening.
Your presenter said we should go into fasting and prayer.
I guess.
So that Super Eagles will win.
Yes.
I want to ask your presenter, how is that going to translate to food on our table? That fasting and prayer. That's number one. Number two.
Okay.
Shey Makinde said the Atiku Abubakar did not talk.
No. That's hello. We're not discussing that today. Okay. That was one of the things we talked about last week.
It's okay.
Okay.
So that prayer is, to me, Ijoma, is irrelevant.
Okay. Thank you. Now, he was not talking about how to put food on your table. That conversation was how to get the Super Eagles to win the trophy. I know that by extension there might be some connection, but the point is, we were talking about the Super Eagles, the possibility of lifting the trophy, and he said, let us fast and pray, right? That is our own spiritual support. So how we to translate the food on your table, I'm not quite sure. But again, that was not the focus. But thank you for calling. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, the very distinguished Samora Koshiniki. How are you doing this morning?
I'm well. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh my. Call back if you can. Good morning. Please turn off the radio. Yeah, good morning. Your name?
My name is Bibi.
Okay.
I beg, I'm the person that just called later. I'm a staff in Drama, and I have an accident from my company. And my iron is on my leg. And I'm posting blood, and my company people just need me. I'm the person that gives you people information.
Yes.
Please, I'm sick down in my house. And nobody is helping me, please, sir. The company just abandoned me. I'm taking care of me. Nobody is taking care of me. Please, I'm dying here. I don't have any parents that can help me. It's in the petrochemical. I'm still limited. I'm a staff there. I'm a forklift operator. And they just leave me without it. I'm dying here, please, sir. Please, sir.
Okay. I was waiting for you to finish. Now, I know that we have taken your story in our news. One of the many things we do is to, highlight, push attention to stories that need to be told. We have, yes. So hold on. Hello. Listen, I need you to understand. You're calling a live program where we are having conversations, but because of the uniqueness of your situation, that's why I'm allowing you to speak. We have taken your story in our news on all 3 stations. It has been covered in different bulletins, right? So, again, thank you for calling. We would also try to push it. I have made arrangements to make sure that our news team, pays attention to your story. Sorry. The reason why I was asking where you are is so that if anybody around can maybe locate you. Oh my. Hello?
Nobody's here to help me.
Do you have neighbors? At least let somebody walk into his story. It was in our news. Says he's a forklift operator and the company had abandoned him. There was also a response from the company, I believe, and we took that on different bulletins. I'm sorry that you're in that position, but what we can do from this position is to shed light on your situation, give attention to it so that the right pressure would follow. This is truly sad, Mr. Uwadiunor. Hello, good morning.
All right, good morning.
Your name and location?
Yes, I'm Israel Matthew, calling from Bafana.
Okay. Please go ahead.
I want to speak about the insecurity in Nigeria and the NEPA issue. Our leaders, our government of Nigeria is a failure. They failed in everything, including PSR, power holding. They're supposed to give us life, and things is going out to hand. Life contributes for security in every nation. And the power failure collected money, the power holding collected money, and forget about the citizens. And government cannot speak. There is steady light in government and steady light in the governors and the president. Then government is not talking about it. Why insecurity cannot continue? Because number one, no employment. About women protesting, it is a record development. If every Nigerian can do that, so like I'm living in Electoral, when they collect the money, they have gone. They will never remember. Know that people pay that deal to use the right.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank God, Atuebu on Facebook says gas flaring is contributing to the heat we're experiencing in River State and Niger Delta. Can this gas flaring be converted to light for the host communities? I'll need an expert to make the connection, but we've always had flares in this part. There have also been conversations around converting that energy to
electricity.
Yeah. Remember, I know I've had a conversation with experts, and I can't remember how that conversation went, but that it contributes to the heat.
Certainly.
Yeah, there's global warming and all of that. There has to be a percentage. But the heat wave this time, Mr. Uwadiunor, there's something about it. I don't want to say this one is different from others, but it feels different.
It feels different because, one, there's this campaign on global warming.
Yeah.
And then also this climate issue too, also creating awareness. The body responds to what it hears. Okay, so they shouldn't have told us now that they came back from Dubai after the climate
COP28
conference, and then will remain like this. So the global, the heat wave is a way of amplifying the effect of the climate change conference.
All right, and to our final story, the APC in River State is demanding accountability from Governor Sim Fubara for the sum of 144 billion naira received from the Federation account between June and November 2023. The caretaker committee chairman of the APC in the state, Tony Okocha, made the demand during a visit to the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, Martin Amehule. Mr. Okocha accused the governor of misappropriating state funds.
A whooping sum of 144,281,667,791 have been received from federal application on that part. We regret that these humongous amounts have not translated to action in any way in terms of development in the state. What we see are heavily funded street processions and media presences in support for necessary political improvement.
Mr. Okocha further criticized Governor Fubara for governing the state without a budget. He said the action of the governor is a clear violation of the law. He recommended that the upcoming local government elections be conducted by INEC and not RISIEC. Responding, the Speaker of the Rivers House of Assembly said the House will not tolerate excuses from an elected representative in the state.
We cannot be giving excuses. Rivers people did not elect those governments to be giving excuses. Our people need employment, agriculture must be sustained, the health sector, the educational sector, every sphere of life of our people must be strengthened so that our people can benefit. Excuses will not be allowed because the funds are there for people to enjoy. So excuses will not be allowed under any guidance.
Okay. Mr. Isaac, your thoughts on the lingering political drama in River State?
Yeah, the tongue and the teeth, they are neighbors. And it pays for the two of them to be friendly if you want to keep your mouth. That's a wise saying from Africa. So that translates to this fact. Government in River State is cyclical. It's cyclical. And there's something about cyclical movement. It is, directionless. If the House of Assembly and the governor cannot come to a meeting point, how do you expect progress? It's garbage in, garbage out. That's the way it is.
For the accountability part, at least, we might tag a lot of these moves as political. But when statements have been made, they are usually up for assessment and some form of analysis. Is it too soon, and I don't even know if I'm asking the right question here, to demand an account of stewardship?
The fact is that the outgone governor gave account 1 year. I remember vividly that he did when he came. This one has only spent barely 8 months. Accountability cannot be demanded in 8 months. After 1 year, you can push for it.
Mr. Isaac,
that's the precedent set by the outgone governor.
But it doesn't mean that it has to be the only way. If to whom much is given, much is expected. I think from as early as possible, if a person is paid, we can start to ask for deliverables.
How many state governors actually had this kind of crisis in their state? They are all onboarding. They are getting used to the art of governance. Remember too that these people were just elected. There was never a time Sim was the deputy governor. He just came on board. So like I told you, the tongue and the teeth, they are neighbors. It is better for them to manage their affairs together.
All right, we'll end with this message on WhatsApp. Good morning, Sam. Since 1999, we can't go beyond 4,000 megawatts. What's really wrong? I have no idea. With the power issue, I don't even know what the answers are to the many questions. That's it on today's episode of The Front Page. Join us next Saturday at 8 a.m. to catch the updates on the biggest stories making headlines for the week. Thank you very much, Mr. Isaac, for your time.
Thank you for having me here.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Coming up at 9 is news around the world. After that, it's Standout with Patrick Uduma. Please stay with us.